So today, y'all, we are doing Bible study for the first time. Everybody's welcome. Usually I do Bible study by myself, all my notes and stuff. But why not share? Today is about turning your effort into success. If there's anything you want to succeed, all you gotta do, have faith in God. Even when you're in a bad spot, believe. Even when you're at the lowest point of your life, this is what this is about today. Believe, have God with you. Genesis chapter 39, verse 2 through 3 says, The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with them and gave him success in everything he did. Joseph went through kind of like a very hard type of life, but everybody saw God through him and they favored him in a way. Joseph was portrayed by his brothers because he was most favored by his father. He was a spoiled child, and his brothers saw like, oh, you think you better than me? You think you better than us? Just because our father like you like that, you think you better than us. So what they did was they sold him as a slave to Egypt, and they sold him to Potiphar, become a slave, but God never left him. He was always faithful to God. He did what he had to do. He worked hard even when he was a slave. God is never leaving us regardless of the circumstance that we go through. You could be homeless, not having much money. Keep God on you, because them hard days, God's timing is always perfect. Potiphar saw God through Joseph and whatever. So he was like, oh, I like you. I could trust you. So he was like, you know what? I'm gonna put you in control of my house. I trust you with it. His work ethic was good. His honesty was good. His attitude, everything. So temptation is something. If somebody know you're favored by God, it wouldn't be the people for. That's why I don't blame people for how they act. I blame their spirits. It's like how they carry themselves. Cause I've been there. I know it's hard to not argue, drink or smoke or go to party or be around the wrong people. Like if it feels fun in the moment, you're gonna like that type of stuff. But you won't turn until you actually try to. I don't know how else to put it. The energy do rubs off on you. Something about sex that a lot of people don't realize. You don't know what you're putting inside of your body. Like you think it's just you and him or you and her. But it comes with spirits, demons, the demons that they had, like, and of course with other people. You're gonna carry those demons he had with other people and the people they had, and then also you, the old people that you used to have intercourse with. You're gonna carry those demons. So you're gonna feel that, like you're gonna feel depressed, like you just hate, like always want to argue. It's because of the demons that you picked up from that person and the other people they had and other people you had. So that's part of the reason why I went abstinent, because for one, it's in the Bible. I feel like now that I made the promise, I can't backtrack on it, because God take promises very serious. If I was to break that promise, there's a consequence behind it. And I don't want to go through that consequence. I'd rather wait till I get married and fulfill my promise and get the blessing. Back to the story. Potiphar's wife kept trying to tempt him, seduce him. Like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, but we don't have to tell nobody. So he was like, nah, man, like, nah, I don't want to do all of that. Like, I have respect towards my master. You're his wife. I'm not going to go against him or God. So she kept tempting him. One day, he was at the house alone, except for him and Potiphar's wife. Potiphar's wife came to him again, tried to seduce him again. Like, come on, just one time. Like, you want this. Like, now, she may not say it word for word how I said it. When someone's seducing you, he's telling them what they want to hear. You look good, like just one time won't hurt. In this day and age, that's how it would have went. He was like, bruh, no, like I told you, like I'm not finna go against my master or God. He ran away, but as he was running away, he left behind some clothes. That's when she was reciting what she was gonna tell her, and she was like, oh, so he don't want this poom poom. So in her head, this is what she thinking. He don't want me. I don't like rejection. Like, no. Potiphar came back or whatever. She was like, oh, yo look, slave or whatever. He just tried to come on to me, like, and I was telling him, no, I don't want to. He tried to force me. And his clothes is right here in case you don't believe me. So she used his clothes as fabricated evidence. Of course, Potiphar gonna believe his wife. He like, oh, you gonna break my trust like that after I put you in the head of my household. So he sent him to prison. God did not leave Joseph while he was in prison either. He stayed with Joseph. Joseph still believed. After that, he went into prison. He also gave the wardens trust. So the warden put him in charge of the prisoners and all the tasks that was like all the administrative tasks. So there was these two prisoners that came in, the cupbearer and the baker. A cupbearer is someone who tests the king's drink to see if it was poison. And the baker serves the bread and everything. And they made the king mad, so they got sent to prison. They both had a dream but they couldn't depict their dream. And since Joseph was over control of them, he was like, oh, okay, what's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all look upset. What's wrong? I could tell there's something on y'all that I want to say. It was like, oh, we both had this dream, but we don't know what it means. Like, Joseph was like, okay, nobody could interpret your dream but God. He always gave his credit to God, regardless of the situation. He never made it seem like, oh, I could tell your dream and woo. He never gave credit to himself. So the cupbearer dream was, it was a vine with 3 branches and it was blossoming grapes. And he squeezed the grapes into the Pharaoh's cup and he served them. That's when Joseph was like, oh, the 3 branches mean 3 days. I'm going to get your job back in 3 days. The baker dream was he had 3 baskets of bread on his head and the birds was eating the bread out of his head or whatever. His dream meant in 3 days he was going to be executed. Rope, tree, that's what happened to him. Nobody want to get told they're gonna pass in 3 days. 3 days come. It's the Pharaoh's birthday. The interpretations came true. Let me backtrack. Joseph told the cupbearer, don't forget about me, because he wanted people to know that he was innocent. Everything that he interpreted happened. The cupbearer forgot about him though for 2 years. 2 years later, the Pharaoh had 2 dreams, but he couldn't interpret it. So the cupbearer was like, hold on. There used to be this guy named Joseph back at the prison I was at 2 years ago. He interpreted my dream for me. Like, he told me I was going to get my job back. And I got my job back in 3 days. He said it was God who interpreted the dream for him, whatever. He's in front of the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh explained his dream to Joseph. In my dream, I was by the Nile River. 7 healthy, fat cows came out and just started eating. After that, 7 very skinny, malnourished cows came out the Nile River and started eating the healthy cows. But they still stayed skinny. So that was his first dream. The second dream he had was 7 healthy grains growing out the ground, 7 thin grains growing out the ground. That's God ensuring that whatever is about to happen is certainly about to happen. So Joseph was like, okay, that means 7 years of good food, great food, a bunch of food, and then 7 years of famine. Famine is when there's no food. A drought, so the food not growing properly. So Joseph told the Pharaoh, save up food for these 7 years or however many years is left. The Pharaoh made Joseph governor. He went from being a slave to a prisoner to a governor. If you put effort, you will be what you want to become. God promised to him start unfolding. Because back then, when he was around his brothers, he told his brothers, like, y'all are going to bow down to me one day. And they laughed in his face like, nobody is bowing down to you. Like, what? Like, who do you think you are? That's when Jacob, which is the father of Joseph and the rest of his brothers, sent his brothers, they sent for Benjamin to Egypt to get food because the famine started. When they came, they seen Joseph, but they did not recognize Joseph. They didn't recognize that was their brother that they sold to slavery. And they like, oh, we just need some food. We need some food. So Joseph recognized them though. He's like, oh, these my brothers, the ones that sold me. So let's see if they still the same way. Tested them and was basically like, are y'all spies? He was still testing them. The only reason Benjamin wasn't sent to Egypt to get food is because Jacob was scared that Benjamin was going to end up the same way that Joseph was. He was scared that they was going to sell Benjamin. But Judah was the one who had the idea to sell Joseph. But that's when he tested them again, was like, if y'all bring back Benjamin, I'll give y'all food. To see if they changed or if they was telling the truth or whatever the case may be. So as the brothers was going back, they was like, oh, this is God punishing us. We sold Joseph and God is punishing us for it now. Like, they admitted to their guilt, whatever the case may be. They went back home. They was like, so the governor of Egypt told us to tell you that we need Benjamin to go back this time. Even though Jacob was kind of like, oh my God, this is my baby. This is my heart. I can't lose him too. He said, okay, take him. Judah promised to keep Benjamin safe. But they bought Benjamin around Joseph. Joseph got real, mind you, they don't know Joseph is their brother. So Joseph got real emotional. He went on his own, started crying, and then came back and started serving them food. But he had another test for the brothers. He gave Benjamin 5 times the food. Only reason the other brothers sold Joseph because they was jealous of Joseph. He tested his other brothers to see if they was still the same way. If they was still going to be jealous, they still was going to sell Benjamin. The other brothers wasn't jealous. So he was like, okay, I see a little bit of change. His last test was the brothers were leaving. put a cup into Benjamin's bag to make it look like he stole or whatever. It was like, oh, he stole, so we gotta put him in prison. Judah came back and was like begging, please don't put him in prison. We can't leave him. We gotta bring him back. Our dad is expecting Benjamin to be at home, so we need to bring Benjamin back home. That's when Joseph finally came out and was like, I'm your brother. That's as far as I got as of now. Keep God in your life. Keep faith in God. Regardless of how low you are in life. No matter how long it takes. Just keep doing what you gotta do. Amen. Reflection questions. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Am I inviting God in everything I do and trusting Him with the outcome? What difficult situation might God be using you to prepare for something greater? The last question is, can people see Christ through you by the way you live? Be back with Bible study next Sunday.